Honey and agave are often seen as healthier sugar alternatives, praised for their natural sweetness and potential health benefits. But the question is if these sweeteners actually are better than regular table sugar. If you're struggling to shed those extra pounds, dealing with blood sugar spikes, or experiencing constant cravings, honey and agave might be the culprit. Keep watching to learn how these natural sweeteners might not be as good for you as you think. If this is the first time you've seen me or clicked on one of my videos, I'm Dr. Ashley Lucas. I'm a weight loss expert and founder of PhD Weight Loss, where we've helped over 7,200 people lose over 260,000 pounds across the US. My goal is to help you get the science-backed information you need to actually lose the weight, keep it off, and live the best life possible. Remember to subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Okay, let's break down the myths and truths about honey and agave syrup. So number one, understanding how these guys work. Honey and agave syrup are both natural sweeteners, but they differ significantly in their composition and how they actually affect your body. Honey specifically contains a mix of fructose, about 38%, and glucose, about 31%, along with water, enzymes, amino acids, important vitamins, and minerals. Agave syrup, on the other hand, is commonly sold as agave nectar and comes from the sap of the agave plant. The sap is processed into a syrup by breaking down the healthy fibers known as fructans to fructose. Unfortunately, this process destroys the health-promoting properties of the agave plant and makes agave syrup similar to high fructose corn syrup. Most agave nectar is composed of up to 85 to 90% fructose. So now let's talk about why high fructose content in agave syrup can actually be pretty darn problematic. In general, when you consume fructose, it is absorbed in your small intestine and transported to the liver. Unlike glucose, which can be used by almost every cell in the body, fructose is primarily metabolized in the liver. When you consume a lot of fructose, it can overload the liver, and the liver converts this excess fructose into fat, which can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD, or now what is called MAFLD, metabolic associated fatty liver disease. So what happens, again, in the liver, if we can picture this, we consume this fructose, it goes directly to the liver fills up with its fructose capacity, and at some point it can't tolerate it, it's full. Think of it like a glass that's completely full. So now this overflow has to go somewhere, and it converts this overflow into fat. Now the fat stores of the liver fill up, so think of it as a second glass of fat. This fat is totally filled, and now it's overflowing. What does the liver do with this overflow of fat? Well, it releases this excess fat into the bloodstream as triglycerides. So this process of liver overload increases triglyceride levels in the blood, raising the risk now of heart disease. High fructose intake can also lead to insulin resistance, which is a precursor for type 2 diabetes. Now let's jump into the glycemic index, because the glycemic index comes into play when we're talking about fructose. A lot of folks might say, wait, agave nectar is good because it has a low glycemic index. Glycemic index is 20 to 30. Honey's glycemic index is 55, and table sugar's glycemic index is 60 to 65. The higher the glycemic index, the quicker the rise in blood glucose levels. So we really want to eat foods that have a low glycemic index. So you would say, wait a second, Dr. Ashley, agave is good. It has the lowest glycemic index. While yes, the glycemic index measures how quickly food raises blood glucose levels, it does have some limitations. The glycemic index measures only the impact of glucose, ignoring the effects of fructose in the body. Foods high in fructose like agave syrup might have a low glycemic index because, remember, it passes through the blood, it goes straight to the liver, but it can also cause metabolic issues. Agave syrup's high fructose content makes it less healthy than it appears. So despite its low glycemic index, the high fructose content can still lead to that liver overload we discussed and increased fat production and metabolic issues. So now let's talk a little bit about honey. So while honey does contain fructose as well, it is in lower proportions. Honey also provides nutrients and antioxidants that can offer additional health benefits. If I had only the two sweeteners to pick from, I would go with honey. A note on honey as well, though, it's important to recognize that even though it's more natural, it still acts as a sugar and raises blood sugar levels. This is okay, and it's a totally normal process. However, if you are consuming a lot of it, or if you're consuming a lot of other sugars in their varied forms along with honey, these could be causing some metabolic issues. If you have a teaspoon or two in your tea, then it shouldn't be a problem. When in a weight loss phase, I would advise letting go of it for a short period of time. So, with all of this being said, what are some of the best forms of sugars and sweeteners? Well, number one, if you go with whole fruit, it's going to be your best bet for something sweet just because it contains natural sugars with fiber, vitamins, and minerals, which slow down sugar absorption and prevent spikes. But also to note that if you are dealing with type 2 diabetes or belly fat, or if you're struggling with weight gain, really minimizing the amount of fruit consumption can be helpful as well. If you're looking for just a sweetener to add to your tea or your beverages or to cook with, you could consider stevia. It's a natural 0-calorie sweetener that doesn't raise blood sugar levels. You could look into monk fruit or allulose. If you want to dive more into these types of sweeteners, check out my episode all about sugar alternatives, and it dives into the why and the science behind it. In general, if you want to use honey, I would suggest a light use and making sure that you're hitting your unique carbohydrate tolerance level each day and not going above it. Sweeteners that I would suggest to avoid would be agave syrup because it's high in fructose. It can lead to this liver overload and metabolic issues. And avoid high fructose corn syrup and refined sugars, including table sugar if you can, because these, when eaten above your unique carbohydrate tolerance level, can cause consistent blood sugar spikes and metabolic disorders. All right, you guys, there you have it. Agave syrup and honey might not be quite as healthy as you think, and there are plenty of alternatives out there. Let me know what you think in the comments and how you sweeten your foods. I hope you enjoyed this video. A reminder to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.